Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ty and I hope you're all doing well. Today, I wanted to give my brutally honest thoughts about Dying Light the Beast Restored Land and what I think this may mean for the series moving forward. Now, I'll jump straight to it. I think the update is just okay. My disappointments come from the fact that it took 6 months to get a mode where we replay the same thing we've replayed numerous times already. There is some cool new stuff here, some really badass finishers for Beast Mode, but I was hoping for something different and I guess I got that. Just not in the way I was expecting or really hoping, but let's talk about it. What is actually in the Restore Land mode they've been hyping up? Well, it's a solo-only survival mode where you have to wipe out different districts of the map. Clearing convoys, hives, and all these zombies in these specific districts will bring survivors back to inhabit them. They'll sit around the bus stops, drinking beers, sitting on benches, hanging out. It's actually a really cool concept, and when I initially saw the trailer, I thought, oh yeah, it's not going to look like that, because Techland trailers are always super cinematic, sometimes to their own detriment, but while that trailer is more immersive than the actual game, as to be expected, you actually do feel like the areas you clear out do repopulate. Survivors in this restored zones will leave behind food, weapons, or things to help you clear out the rest of Castor Woods. I will say though, how cool would it be to see Kyle actually hold out the map like in the trailer? I wish this update brought more unique elements like that, but maybe I'm just asking for too much for a free update, you know? So let's get into the specifics. This mode doesn't allow you to transfer over your saves. I feel bad for all those people that were gathering up snacks for their New Game Plus saves when, you know, it's not going to be usable. So yeah, it's an entirely separate thing that you have to load into through the main menu, which does change around some of the UI, like there's a new flashlight icon. There's a few really nice changes here. This update also adds a permadeath mode called One Life, which you do have the option to turn on or off when you first start up a new game. But it is only for Restored Land. You can play through it in survival or brutal difficulty, no nightmare mode option, and the objective is to restore the land and survive as long as you can. You can plan your route, scavenge for food, which you do now have the option to craft with the energy bar blueprint you can pick up, so that's nice. You'll want to pay attention to the loading screens too, because those will help you find a revived syringe. There are 2 in the open world, however, no one has been able to track down where they are as of yet, even though the loading screens are apparently supposed to help. But a friend of mine pro-aimer spawned them in to confirm they do exist, so there you go. It's all a big mystery the community is still working to solve. It's kind of like a fun community scavenger hunt, but it is nice to have. If you do go down during your One Life challenge, then there is a way to bring yourself back up, like a second chance, so make use of it, if you can find it. In Restore Land, you also have to manage your inventory space with backpacks that you can find. The shopkeeper will also have the option to buy more space as well, but it isn't cheap, I'll tell you that. I did like that I had to be more strategic. I couldn't just parkour around and take fall damage mindlessly, because every once in a while that Techland jank will kill ya, and a small piece of your soul in the process. Like with how the hitboxes are and the frustrating stun locks, there's a lot of moments where you can just die in really stupid, unfair ways. Like that's just sort of how Dying Light plays at this point, but it does make One Life a bit of a headache, even with the easier difficulty. It is kind of funny because there were times where I actually forgot I had One Life enabled, and when I remembered, it was too late. Like I'm used to jumping into those respawning trucks as like an escape vehicle, you know, at night. And it got to a point with me driving around where I was like, oh shit, this is not gonna respawn, is it? The world is completely static, so every decision you make does matter. Everything you pick up doesn't respawn, so eventually you will run low on materials. From my experience, managing the hunger bar really wasn't too bad. There are snacks in nearly every old town interior that I've looted. And maybe my memory is just failing me, but I do feel like some interiors got slight improvements here and there. For all I know, maybe being connected to those new treasure maps that were added, so there's that as well. So if you're a collectible geek or a completionist, then you have more stuff to search for. I did try for shits and giggles to see if there was a specific animation for starving, but you kinda just topple over and die as if by a zombie. Could be worse, I suppose. So, as you probably noticed, a lot of the elements that were in Nightmare mode are back, including the Alpha Volatile. Once you kill it once, you don't have to worry about it again. A strange addition but a welcome one is there are map markers that you can place if you want to keep track of where specific special infected are located, maybe where some really good loot is, I don't know, I like the idea though. Now yes, you can eliminate volatiles from being in the open world, and that's by wiping out the volatile hives in the map. Pretty self-explanatory, and good luck because, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. As I've shown throughout the video, there are new weapons and outfits, so let's go talk about those. They basically added a new weapon rarity for co-op, so now you can get a couple new weapons with that spider aesthetic going on. And I'm sure many are wondering what types of rewards you get for completing Restore Land, and there are a couple new outfits. One for completing the Restore Land mode, which is the survivalist outfit, and then there's one for completing it with One Life enabled. Having Kyle in a Rambo type fit, I honestly love it. There is also more, some of which you'll have to pay extra for because yes, this game does have bundles now, including a new definitive version which will cost an additional $30. Now, I did say I was delaying my review because of these being added, and I won't lie, initially I was incredibly disappointed to see their inclusion. But here comes the but. If that means we can help support the game and get real post-launch support, I'm okay with it. The first game did it, the second game did it, it really shouldn't be that much of a surprise that they are monetizing it to this extent. However, to play devil's advocate, when we consider that Bloody Tie is a full-blown story DLC DLC with 30 plus new outfits, a new story, and map to explore was the same price of a bundle with one skin and a weapon, I can't help but think, what are we doing, man? Now, on another note, this is all the stuff that you can get for free in this update, the new weapon being the chainsword, which is really badass. It does basically act like any other sword in this game, but in terms of visuals with that makeshift aesthetic that glows in the dark, it's one of my favorites. You also get a charm for wiping out every zombie in Castor Woods, and then there's actually a new truck skin you can get as well. Looks alright, not really much to add there. Many are probably wondering, how do you get the chainsword in that motorbike charm? And it's after you complete the Vengeance's Mine quest. Plus, there's also a new achievement for it too. Also, yes, I'm sure I'll get comments about it if I don't talk about it. That is me walking around with an AK-47. It's in one of the new bundles. The other big substantial thing added is something you can actually access outside of the Restore Land game mode, and those are 5 new races spread across Castor Woods called Roadkill Rallies. The difference between these and the normal races we've had since launch is that you have to smash into as many zombies as you can along the way, reminding me of a classic Dead Rising challenge. I think they're alright, they're simple nice challenges that can be played in both solo and co-op, which is nice. You unlock them by doing the Fast and Fortunate quest, and then normally you would have to find them out in the open world, but I'm having a good day today, so here you go, all the locations. I was hoping when they teased the spiked out truck that it was more in the vein of vehicle mods, like a garage system which you can improve the speed, the durability, add a couple weapons to it. There are so many cool ideas, yet I feel like it's all more of the same, and that goes for the whole update really. People get annoyed when you compare this game to the first one, but I still want that same thrill and intensity of driving with the buggy, and this game just doesn't really allow for that unfortunately. But at least we have some sort of new replayable content, so there is that. This update also brings along a new leaderboard system, one for Restore Land, allowing you to track how many days you survived, enemies killed, distance traveled, and then there's also a leaderboard for Roadkill Rallies as well now too. One thing I've asked for in the past is more finishers for Beast Mode, and this update does thankfully give us that. Not a ton, but it's something, and they're all fucking awesome. There's a new one for the Banshee, the Charger, Demolisher, Goon, Volatiles, they're so good, dude. Like, this is easily my favorite thing about the whole update, honestly. I can't even recreate the noise I made when Kyle takes the Banshee's claws and shoves it through its own face. This stuff had me cackling, man. I really hope they don't stop here with adding new finishers because they nailed it once again. They also made a couple fixes to the overall game in this update, like they improved some of these zombie spawns, making them a little more varied and interesting, and honestly, yeah, I noticed it. There were multiple occasions where I saw the zombies moving around and acting more dynamically. It just felt more realistic overall. I also noticed there were more random encounters. You know that blue icon that appears? There were a couple of oh shit situations that I didn't anticipate. You'll also find the Baron's Men in a lot more places, making things feel a little bit more lively. One of the other quality of life additions they tweaked were the dodge times. You now dodge a little bit quicker from what I noticed. They also enhanced the damage window for attacks, increased the finisher frequency for New Game Plus as heavily requested, and they apparently also improved some of these sounds from when you hit a biter or break a wooden crate, little things here and there. A lot of this is great, in fact a majority of it is, but it still feels like I'm eating a half-baked chicken and now I got salmonella, and I hate to say that. This mode is clearly not up my alley, as you can probably tell, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who will love this. But it doesn't really differentiate itself from the content we've had since launch. Besides 5 new races, some cool finishers, couple new weapons to grind for, there's really nothing replayable to sink your teeth into unless you love replaying this story. To be clear, I'm glad they tried something new, that's always nice, but it's still the same story with the same missions with the same conclusion. I guess I was just hoping they would expand the open world more, like we already had time trials with the truck on top of that, so for them to add more, but now you have to kill zombies along the way, does have me scratching my head, but I'm sure it's fun in co-op. I haven't tried that yet, I will say. I just can't see myself replaying these a ton, in all honesty. Like, I was never in love with what Techland did with the second game and its post-launch mode, but at least the Tile Raid felt like a completely new standalone experience. I see the potential here. I know the people working on this series really do love it, but this just isn't very exciting in my eyes. But looking at the reception, I can tell it's found an audience. My review was initially a lot more negative, because when I first played this mode, I came away from it confused, genuinely questioning how they thought this would be enough, but I just don't think I'm the target audience for this one. It feels like a move to get people into Dying Light that never played Dying Light or this game specifically before. Like, if it was your first playthrough and you went for what Restore Land offers, I can see that being an incredibly fun but also stressful experience. However, I'm in the camp that has played through the story already, and I'm good on that. I don't play these games for the stories, I don't think most people do. I play them for the sandbox opportunities. Look at Crimson Desert, the story is god-awful, everybody knows that at this point, but the amount of freedom you have, the crazy amount of things you can do, there's really not much else like it. So, like, my overall issue with the update isn't that it's Restored Land in general, it's just that it's mainly just Restored Land. After you release Nightmare Mode and New Game Plus, it doesn't make a ton of sense to have another mode where you replay the same game again. I'm sorry, but it's just silly to me. This also does make me wonder, since they released this as a full-on new version of the game that you can buy on storefronts. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but are they wrapping up post-launch support already? Is it mainly gonna be tweaks from here on out? I don't think so, but I have a lot of questions. But as I said, if new bundles are being brought to the game, that means we can fund actual new content, bigger scale updates, then I'd be okay with it. As I said, I really would. Anyways, would I recommend this mode? I would, if you like replaying the story of Dying Light the Beast or just want a new survival experience to mess around in. Otherwise, it's not an update that would bring me back to the game personally. But if you like the update or don't, let me know why by sharing your thoughts down below, because I've seen it be really divisive so far. And if anything, more people are liking it than I anticipated, and that's a good thing. I may not love the mode, but if a ton of other people do, then that's awesome. If you enjoyed this review of Dying Light the Beast Restored Land, then please do me the favor of liking this video and subscribing if you want to see more. I hope y'all have a splendid day today. Thank you Pro Aimer for providing me their save for this video, and stop by for the next one folks. Adios.